Hey guys, this is Libby, and I'm going to be looking at the impact of the First World War on medicine in Britain. The First World War took place from 1914 to 1918 and led to many advances in medicine. Notable advances were made in X-rays, blood loss and transfusions, and plastic surgery. Just like penicillin later in World War II, war can fuel or support a lot of medical developments. Plastic surgery was one of these. The development of plastic surgery was motivated by the First World War. A British doctor called Harold Gillies set up a unit to transplant skin for soldiers with facial wounds. In 1917, Queen's Hospital in Kent was established to treat soldiers with facial wounds. By the Second World War, Archibald Mackindo was using drugs such as penicillin to treat soldiers with facial wounds. So blood transfusions up to 1900 often failed because scientists didn't know that different people had different blood types. Infections could be passed on through transfusions. Between 1900 and 1901, Karl Landsteiner discovered different blood types. He categorized these into type A, type B, type AB, and type O. Blood transfusions had to be matched to a patient's blood type in order to work. So after this discovery was made in 1900, they began to change. In 1914, Albert Huston discovered how to store blood for long periods without clotting by using sodium citrate. This was needed for blood to reach the battlefield in time. In 1938, the British National Blood Transfusion Service was opened. Prompted by the Second World War, the British and US developed large blood banks to treat wounded soldiers. X-rays before World War I were very different to after. So in 1895, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. Before the First World War, X-rays were used to help doctors identify broken bones and disease. And by 1901, radiotherapy was used to treat cancer. During the First World War, X-rays were used on the battlefield. Marie Curie developed mobile X-ray machines which were transportable. This allowed surgeons to identify where shrapnel or bullets were in a wounded soldier on the front line. So, as we just learned, by 1901, radiotherapy was being used to treat cancer. So we've just learned how the World War I changed different medical advances. So what have we learned? First of all, in 1938, the British National Blood Transfusion Service was opened. We also know that Albert Huston discovered how to store blood for long periods without clotting, and that Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. The discovery of X-rays happened in 1895, and Albert Huston discovered how to store blood in 1914. We also learnt how plastic surgery became used in World War I for soldiers with facial wounds. So we know that Queen's Hospital in Kent was established for treating these soldiers. We also know that by the Second World War, Archibald Mackindo was using drugs such as penicillin to treat soldiers with facial wounds. And also that a British doctor called Harold Gillies set up a unit to transplant skin for soldiers with facial wounds. So that's everything I'm going to be talking about today on the impact of World War I on medicine. Thank you for listening.